First up
Yeah,
is
Karim.
Dr. Anand Punchami. He is a senior specialist at Microsoft Corporation. He is an industrialist and entrepreneur by heart. He has a vast technical background in multiple fields. He has also worked at Oracle and principal CX solution consultant. His inclination is towards building and managing relationships with customers and businesses. Furthermore, he is a mentor in guiding teams through preparations and presentations and delivering demos.
Okay, next is Mr. Muthupavitran Selam, who is a technically skilled MSc cybersecurity student, currently pursuing post-graduation at De Montfort University, United Kingdom. With experience in network administration, he has strong skills in network security, industrial IoT development, with a dash of passion in developing secure systems, secure infrastructure development, and network security.
Moving forward with Mr. Dinesh Kumar, he is a process and result oriented professional with a demonstrated history of working in the information technology and services industries with nearly 10 years of experience in healthcare, insurance operations, manufacturing and logistics, supply chain, and product development. He is currently working as a project lead in Lanthrosoft Private Limited, Coimbatore. With his 6+ years of teaching experience, he has conducted many technical workshops, faculty development programs, technical seminars in various leading colleges throughout our country. He is an active board of studies member in many leading colleges of our country.
Last but not the least, we have the founder and CEO of Nuclei Technologies. With a wide experience in various fields, he is the data science innovator, having completed his bachelor's degree in electrical electronics and communication engineering. He has enhanced his thirst of knowledge with a postgraduate degree from ISME in data science and entrepreneurship. He has a rich experience of teaching data science for over 2 years, in which he has trained more than 2,000 people. He has even started a YouTube channel, Go Data Science, to teach data science to people all around the world.
Yes. With this, now let us begin the panel session. I would like to welcome our beloved Dr. Ramu Pashupati sir to conduct the session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Om, and thank you very much, Yukti. So we have actually a panel of experts today today with us to discuss about what is happening in the respective field with respect to AI. And also, actually, we have a saying that speaking with an expert is equal to reading several books. Like we have four experts today who are actually going to interact with us on various aspects of AI in their field and how the AI is impacting in their field and what is the future of AI in their field. So with this one, first I would like to address my question to Mr. Anand Ponuswamy. So my first query is actually like everyone is trying to embrace AI to enhance their business of their company or concern. So how do you think the impact of AI is growing with each passing day? Like every business you see, they are trying to adapt AI in some or the other way. So can you actually like explain to us in with an example or some numbers, like how the impact is growing each passing day?
Uh, Definitely, Doctor. So AI as such, right? It helps organizations in enhancing both their customer experience as well as overall efficiency in their operations. Now, when I say overall efficiency in operations and enhancing customer experience, I'll give you an example. Typically, right, most of you would have a two-wheeler or a car insurance that is there. It is the renewal is done once in a year, and it is always a human tendency. We may forget sometimes to renew. Typically, what happens is when you forget to renew a policy, you have to go and visit an insurance company. They do the physical inspection, after which they renew the lapsed policy. Now, I'll give you a practical example in one of the customer scenario in India, how they are leveraging AI to enhance the customer experience as well as improving the operational efficiency. So ICICI Lombard Insurance Company, they have partnered with Microsoft and they have built an application called Insure. It's a mobile app which leverages AI. It's an AI enabled car inspection app where the app allows the uh, end users or the customers to take a photograph of their vehicle, and within few minutes the photo is analyzed to ensure that the vehicle is there is no damage in the vehicle, it does not, I mean, there is no accident and so on, and the policy gets issued immediately. Typically how this process works is, in a ordinary scenario, there will be an inspector who will go and do a field inspection, and then he comes back to the office, completes his audit report, after which it goes to the underwriting team, and then the entire process gets completed. With AI, this the process which takes days is completed within few minutes, thereby saving a precious time for their customers as well as saving the time for the vehicle inspectors actually. Now from a numbers perspective, right, like based on the study jointly conducted by IDC Asia Pacific as well as Microsoft, customers who are leveraging AI technologies in their operations, they are tend to see significant improvements. When I say significant improvements, right, it's about 22% increase in the customer satisfaction or customer engagement, and 24% increase in productivity of their employees. And over a period of 3 years, this is 2.1 times more productivity than what can be achieved without an AI technology available. I hope this gives a little more clarity on why AI is important in a real life scenario.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Everyone will agree. Like everyone would have gone through the situation with the insurance company, and oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, talking about the business impact, so right now we see the majority of the manufacturers are investing hundreds of millions of dollars in the development and testing of autonomous operational equipment, from self-equipped machineries to trucks to cargos. So, I would like to address this question to Mr. Dinesh Kumar. So, as you have experience in manufacturing and logistics, and you are well aware of the development, so how far is the AI is being having an impact there?
Okay, yeah. So it's a good question, sir. First of all, nowadays people are moving from traditional dashboards to bidirectional commands, and that to the automations. If you see before a couple of years or starting of the decade, personally, when I joined the companies, the major MNCs, I was like. Looking into the dashboards, I was curious and was noting down, and everything was like just the aggregated results of the data. That's how it was there for the major clients and major customers. Nowadays, people and the company are looking for the term called AI, and one such example I can tell you, like I had a personal experience with one of the customer project for Toyota. So initially it was like a spec management, and it was like we used to configure the spec in the UI, and everything is managed by the customer as an end product. That is how it was designed. And later when I relieved from that company during that point, to 2014 to 2015, the customer particularly asked us to enable ML and AI into the application, so that the spec management and specification combinations, based on the market demand and everything, they want everything in a single location. So what they've done is nothing but they created AI agent or agents, so to speak. They created that, and they created automatic spec management. Initially, this specification management was done manually by the Toyota representatives, but after ML and AI introduction, this is on 2015, 2016 on. So after that, you can think of the spec management is semi-automatic. The system itself suggested many specifications based on the market demand and the product rollouts and the product sales, etc. So it combined many metrics, and it gave more insights to the representative so that they can prepare the specifications much better. You can think of this for Toyota. So and I personally had an experience with one of my friend. He's working in robotics. he's working in Germany now. So he personally started developing robots for manufacturing and logistics project. So he's actually doing a research in that. So he had shown me how AI transformed that particular topic, like for the logistics point of view. So providing that AI robot for aspects. So you can a normal robot itself can perform many automations. AI powered robot, we can think of how much it is efficient for them to look into it. So that is how manufacturing and logistics is gaining momentum with AI and ML.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, thank you for the elaborate explanation. And the next thing is actually like the one which I'm going to ask is actually like everyone is experiencing. So this one I would like to address it to Mr. Muthupavitra Selvam. So we are hearing in the news that lakhs of credit card details and passwords and other sensitive data being available for sale on the dark web for pennies. So with that one in mind, should we really trust this password manager apps that is available like LastPass or Bitwarden? So can you give your view on this one, like how the people should go about the things with their password?
Uh, yeah, that's actually a common question. Uh, from the security point of view, what I'm going to say is password manager is bad for everyone, actually. Literally say. But the thing is, not everyone can, each individual will definitely have more than 20 accounts, like common internet accounts, like 20 to minimum 20 accounts level. They can't have separate individual passwords for each different accounts with with complexity. So actually the password creation will be the creating of password will be the people getting actually using something that related to them, actually, while creating the password itself. They're thinking they need to remember while creating itself. So that's a main problem we are facing, actually, in cybersecurity. We will talk about how to create a password and those things. Before, I will talk about credit cards. So the credit card hacking, we call it as a credit card hacking. That thing, always the credit card hacking not got hacked by the or bank or something bank server. They're never going to get it from the bank server. Actually, the credit card, if the credit card is hacked, that means most of the 80% of the hacking is coming from due to the person not aware of how to use the credit card, actually, how to use the credit card and debit card. See, if you mostly it will be come with a spam, someone calling you, I'm going to give this much amount of money, if this much amount of money, or you entered these things, you won these things, something like that, and they will tell you like you can get this money if you give these information. So the people doesn't aware that you're giving what the information they're giving to the person is highly sensitive, and most of them are actually focusing on the people, like with related to the current situation, like COVID. They're telling you like you can get the COVID medicines, or you can go to something related to COVID, and then they're trying to cover you to get information. Actually, the people, there is a recent research is going on how security is compact with people, actually. What I'm saying is how security is compact with people in general life, not in the industrial scale or something. They will even you have the technology in your hand, like how to even protect your credit card, like lock mechanism, every option the government gave, what is it, even the security companies will give it to you. The people, it's not utilizing it properly. Another main problem is we are facing, actually. Let me give you an example. If you go to the bank apps, they will give an option called temporary freeze of bank cards. If you're not using a certain period, you can freeze your card, and when you're going to use it, then you can unfreeze it. These features actually given to the people, to everyone, so they can freeze it. So unfreeze it. So most of people won't use it, and most of people trying to use a debit card, not credit card. So the another big advantage debit card and credit card is the debit card has if any hacking is done using a credit card, the 50% the 50% will be liable with you, and another 50% with liable with the company itself. So they won't ask you to pay the full amount if they hacked. So they will actually give back the 50% of the amount. The another thing is go about the passwords. Actually, you can create a simple complex password. Like the thing is, if you want to create a password, uh, just think about simple. Like let me give an example. If you like mango, just add a mango in the password. Starting letter is M in the capital, and then use any special character, and then add it to the different color, which color you like, or red, and then add it to different level. But these things you're gonna add it, it should not relate it to you in some form. Like you should not have your pet name, or should not relate it to anything. But even though what I'm saying is adding the special character, but still it's not complex enough. What I'm saying, still it's somewhere in the dictionary. Then it's going to definitely got in the some library attacks or dictionary attacks. But for the common use, I'm asking the password manager is actually very good for the usage, because it can generate the complex passwords, and also it can store it, and then it can also give you an autofill form while using it. So we cannot remember the most complex password like 32 digits or 28 digits for each and every account differently without relating each other. But using the password manager is actually good practice. But the thing is, we should use the best practice of using of password manager is local storage actually. But we have a lot of concern about it. If you lose it, everything is going lost actually. Another cloud-based password manager is also, if they got hacked, the recent technology of password manager, if you got hacked, they can't reveal the passwords actually. It's stored in a hash plus salting mechanism. So it's really I'm not saying it's really 100% protected, but it can be somewhat level can be protected. But the best practice of using a password is remembering it actually. Using a never ever use a password once they used in account already. Like if you have a 10 Gmail accounts or 10 different accounts, you should use a different passwords, not use the same passwords and again. And again, even we have like a different security mechanism. Once it's compromised, it is compromised. That's it. So actually nobody can steal your password from their database. Actually, it's more complex than stealing the password by using social engineering, by guessing the passwords, by using a brute force, by just putting a combination in it, by getting public information about you and my guessing your password of each and every account. And then if I know your habits, what you do things, are if you some people will write the password in the books somewhere, or they write it in the small snip sheets or whatever they do. That is the easiest way of hacking. That is the major concern in the cybersecurity practices actually in everywhere. See, the people will trying to create a complex password, and they can't able to remember it, and then write it down, and then they try to write it down somewhere. That's another big problem we are actually facing even in IT industries everywhere. And then another problem is, another biggest problem in this password managing is, people if they are using 20 accounts, 20 accounts, like 20 to 21 accounts, like Netflix and everything, they're trying to use the like minimum usage of password. Like if you are creating if the company policy says you need to have a 16 digits to create a password, they're using a minimum 16 digits. That's it. After that They won't even change it afterwards. See, every 3 months or 4 months, at least you need to change the passwords. So that's really concerns about it. Actually, I am appreciate the people who are can't able to remember the 20 to more than have more than 20 accounts. Have to remember the password. Please trying to use the password generator and the password managers. Find the best one, which one suitable for you. But the main important thing is try to create the each password manager will have the password and the username for logging into the account. Trying to create the most complex username and the master password, most complex one, like minimum 32 to minimum 32 digits. Because what I'm saying is those hashing or encryption, the what the password manager going to use, it's based on how your username and the password you created it. Actually, it's going to use it as like a base structure or nouns or for hashing your data inside the password manager. Actually, that is a real concern. If you create the weak master password, then the encryption and the hashing will be weak also inside your password manager. So that will also affect you. Yeah, that's a real concern. Actually, the best practice is the best practice of password creation of password is trying to create a password that you will remember, and also it more complex that not related to you. That's the best practice. Actually, minimum go with the 16 digits. The minimum standard should be set to the 16 digits. What I'm saying is, yeah.
Thank you, Madhupavitran. Thank you for the elaborate explanation, and this is something everyone will need it. And I would like to now address my next query to Dr. Ankit Bahat. And you have worked on industrial automation on moving radioactive substances in nuclear reactors. So you have actually worked on deep learning and machine learning in that field. So what inspired you to go into that field? Your voice is not audible. Sorry, the background is very high.
I think he is facing some problem.
Mr. Ankit? Yeah, now we are able to hear you.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, 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 yes.
Just give me a moment. I think I am. Guys, are you able to hear me now?
We are able to hear you.
There's something wrong with the settings. Second.
Yeah.
Some noise is coming.
Sir, he said in the chat that continue, he will join again.
We will actually continue with our conclave, and we will continue addressing. So next, actually, like I would get back to Mr. Anand Ponsami. So I would like to know more about your area. So since your area of expertise revolve around the customers and relationship management, so how do you feel about this AI auto chatbots? I mean, everyone these days, actually, they are using it in their website. And how do you feel the effectiveness of this AI chatbots? And do you think that it is really actually helps in enhancing the business? And do you think the impact of this AI chatbots will be more in the coming future?
Okay. Great question. You've touched a real great area which is gaining traction in every industry actually.
Yeah.
Uh, from my perspective, chatbots are definitely helpful, and they are definitely helpful in effectively managing the customer experience or customer interactions in a timely manner, and also helps in ensuring uh, the employee productivity is improved. Now, I'll give you with an example. Now, you would have reached out to say, let's take a common scenarios. So, uh, I'm using net banking. I'm forgetting my passwords, or the account got locked. I have to reach out to the customer service team to get it reset. So typically, what happens is I'll pick up my phone. I'll dial the customer care number, and I'll wait in queue for say few minutes, a minute to few minutes, where I waste my precious time. These chatbots can help in addressing these common issues quickly without needing for a human intervention, because a password reset is basically based on certain validations and verifications to ensure the data whatever you are providing is secure, and the password reset information goes to only to the authorized users or the person who was originally owning those accounts. Now, AI along with machine learning is used in chatbots to ensure that the right information is given to the end customers at the right time. And the agents, customer service agents, will be able to be focus on more critical issues which needs a human intervention rather than the simple issues of password reset or account locking. Now, in recent days, right, we are introducing AI into this chatbot so that the uh, chatbot itself becomes a self-learning intelligent bot where it understands some of the common topics which for which there is no solution or knowledge article exists, and it gives those information to the knowledge manager or the knowledge advocate to create this as a common solution areas or common problems, so that those questions which are otherwise routed to a human agent whose productive time is typically wasted in a smaller issue or non-critical issues, those are taken care by the chatbot along with the um, machine learning related knowledge repository actually. And over a period of time, this knowledge repository also gets refined with the right questions uh, that is asked to the customers based on the customer problem areas, and right solutions provided to the customer as well. Now we are also introducing the voice bots so that customer need not type in with those chatbots, and they can talk to the bot with support for various languages, including Indian languages like Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, and so on. Along with that, an option to understand various voice accents or modulations even when talking with in English. So that way, right, you will be able to effectively manage a customer interaction in a timely manner rather than wasting customers' time, in a timely manner addressing the customer queries, and also improve the employee productivity, thereby keeping the customer happy.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. I think it was actually like something everyone will be looking forward to in the futures. The chatbots are everywhere these days, and
Exactly.
yeah. So, Mr. Ankit, you're fine now?
Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. So, shall I actually read out my query again, or yeah,
I think I got it.
yeah,
So, to be honest, when you join a industry like I had joined Baba Atomic Research Center, where we were researching on various things. People usually think we build nuclear reactors and stuff, but those things are already done. And now the thing is to make things more safer, not just in India, like across the world. Nuclear reactors are not as safe as they are assumed to be. And even now, a lot of people still work in the hazardous conditions where they are open to, you know, uh, effect of the nuclear radioactive substances. So I worked on a couple of projects over there where we tried to automate a lot of things which are still done by humans. And we have used various deep learning techniques over there. And we also tried to create some state of the art technologies. Well, the only difference between any industrial automation and working on developing an app or something like that is collecting the data. Uh, we face a lot of issues in collecting the data because we ourselves cannot go into the places where the radioactive substances are there, where they are moving. So data collection, data pre-processing, these kind of things, in case of industrial automation, take a lot of time. They consume a lot of time, especially the pre-processing, generating artificial data. These kind of things are really difficult. I would say that 70 to 80% of the time goes into getting the data, getting it pre-processed, creating more artificial data, and things like that. And as such, this is a really good field where you are working for the safety on trying to improve the human life of people who are working at the lower levels in technologies are improving a lot across the world. They are having a great impact actually. Like one of our papers would get published soon, I guess. And yeah, that's it. And like we use a lot of things which actually seem very simple in real world. For example, optical character recognition. If I say OCR, people think that it's like the most basic project someone can do who is getting into the field of machine learning or AI. But one of our largest project was actually developing a OCR for industrial automation, and it took us more than a year. So you can understand that things are not as easy as it seems on your projects. So yeah,
Yeah.
and that's it.
I think that's an exciting field, and now actually, like I would like to move on to Mr. Dinesh Kumar. So you are working with Lanthrosoft, and actually, like it is actually like trying to use the AI to improve the business, and it is offering the business solutions. So, how do you see the growth and development of the industry with this, with respect to your concern? Like how you are actually like going to use the AI, and what is the kind of impact it is going to have in the future? So, can you actually like elaborate about the challenges and growth prospects you're actually seeing there?
Sure. Yes, sir. Yeah. Again, it's a good question. So uh, I explained it with one of the projects we developed. It's not a project; it's a product we developed to one of the U.S. Major hospital. We developed a project initially with uh, just data and just a representation of data to the customer. It's like a workflow automation system for the patients for analysis, analytics, and prediction. That is how we developed it. And we created a workflow for the team. And when a patient goes to the hospital, they personally had to follow some process for the workflow, and rest of it falls into the place. Later, the same customer asked us to develop somewhat intuitive, and they want to reduce the patient's time in the hospital. So what we did is like nothing. We added AI agents on top of the existing product we developed, and what it did, it did wonders to the hospital and the patients. For example, it is the existing patient. He or she goes to the hospital. The system knows what exactly the patient is up to, and what exactly which department it need to send, and what are the procedures to follow. And the system is not only for the patient. The same system is for the doctors, physicians, or the other department staffs too. So what it did like it implemented, it gave prediction, it gave insights to each and every department. And when a patient goes to that particular department, that physician or some people have the insights about what need to be done, and the patient's time in that particular department is reduced. So after 1.5 years, we analyze the time of how it is improved, and we got a good result. Like it improved the AI agent development, and the customer satisfaction come, the employee satisfaction come, the organization satisfaction. So everything came like 70 percentage. It reduced time with the existing system. So that is how we ourselves use technology to transform customers requirement to one of the use cases. So that is one typical and good example that I personally had experience with AI and AI agents to the projects.
Yeah. How about so you're dealing with the offshore clients, and you're also actually like working with the Indian clients. So what do you actually like think is the impact AI is having in different places? Like, do you feel is there any actually like the requirement of AI professional? Where do you think is more offshore?
Yeah, the aspect in the question. So that is why we are here. We want to learn about AI, and we want to understand AI. Yes. So I'm just kidding. Long back, there is no term called AI. So we already implemented the ML algorithms for decades. So when I joined major MNC, we were using ML algorithms in 2010. So it was into the market, but the term called AI and ML came into spotlight very recently, maybe 6 to 7 years. The demand is more. That is how we can visualize and see whether AI will be there in the future, or what will be the requirement for AI, because the demand is more. And to answer your question about the AI professionals and all, yes, we have more demand for AI professionals because in one of the IoT product, since we had experience with on-site and offshore customers, now we are working in one of the IoT product, and initially it was like insights of the customer, like from the devices to data to the analytics. That is how we developed that product. And of course we had bidirectional commands. We are selling the product to domestic and international customers, and customers are much more enthusiastic as compared to us. Like they want their product to be with some intelligence. That is how people are looking for in the products. So how can we enable or embed intelligence in the system? We have AI. So our system need to be more intelligent enough to understand what is the demand and what is the outcome. So that is how we can embed intelligent into systems. So one typical example is yesterday I had a demo. I had a demo with one of the customer in US, and he was like, after when we had 1 hour demo, the right after the demo, he asked like first question, right? He has this like, how is the automation applied in your system? That is the only question he had. Okay, so we showed him a 1 hour demo, and we showed him the complete A to Z of the application. The first question is, how is the automation is taken care of the application? So and we explained that we created AI agents for rules engines, and we used all the technical terms to explain them. And then actually in the 1 hour we already explained it, like we enabled AI into the application, but he particularly wanted to know the automation and AI term, whether it is implemented or not. So that is how the people in the domestic and in international market are up to the requirement. So yes, to answer your question, short and sweet, yes, there is more demand, and on-site or offshore, regardless of the customers, they are demanding AI and ML for each and every projects.
Okay, that's great. So I would like to now move on to Muthu Pavitran now. Actually, you answered about actually like setting the passwords, and how actually like the password manager can actually also aid in setting the password and other things. But if you actually like see, according to this data, like 1 in 2 Indian firms have faced a cyber breach involving theft or loss of sensitive confidential data in the past 2 years. So in this scenario, actually, like what would be your take? Like how should they respond to them? And how in first place, how should they prevent this? What is the strategy they should use in preventing the cyber attack? Whether they should invest in VPN? So what is your take on these things? Sorry, you are not audible.
I'm sorry about that. I just put on the mute. Actually, the recently due to the cyber attack is due to the COVID-19. Due to the COVID-19, the working methodology is completely changed. The form of working is everybody from everybody now work from home is from a strategy, because in Europe actually, they are planning to make the office from home itself, like you can work from anywhere, and also like work from anywhere from your own devices. BOYD, we call it as a BOYD. It's a bring your own devices. So this will increase actually. This will increase actually cyber concerns, and also some major concerns. Let's start with the basic thing actually. Why after the COVID-19 impact is also in the cybersecurity, also in cyber security world also, like spammers, like phishing has been the significant increase in the period of COVID, because they are using the I'm already told you, they're using the name called COVID itself, delivering the spam messages. We can say that before that there's a 20 to 30% of spam messages. Now there's staggering amount of increase in sending spam messages to everyone has been increased, and these spam messages are really looking like actually a normal message. It's not ending in the spam filtering itself. So that's one of the major increase in cyber vulnerabilities actually right now. You're asking about the companies facing the major cybersecurity attacks. Actually, there is a difference between cybersecurity attack and the data breach. The data breach happens after the cybersecurity attack. Most of the company are facing a cybersecurity attack, not the data breach. How the cybersecurity is happening from the remote system only, the major remote system, because 80 to 90% of the workforce is moving to the work from home unit and on BOID devices. Right now the companies are facing how to set up the new kind of firewalls and new kind of policies from the work from home people. Like if you're inside the environment, it's completely different thing. You have a physical firewall systems, and then these are more protected policies. Each software and your activity will be monitored by AI systems. There is a firewall AI will be monitor each and every activity. If you go to the work from home, you need to use mostly like VPN to connect to the companies, and then they will use less policies maintained, like VLANs. They call it as a VLAN, virtual LANing methodology, to group your teams. Like this is a project team, this is the programming team, this is the developing team. They use the VLAN methodology, and also each VLAN methodology can be set as a policies. So they can do only the limited things to protect the system actually. And also the another main important thing is coming inside it. It's called BOYD, bring your own devices. So that means you can bring use your own laptop to do your actual job, what you're doing in the company in the past 3 to 4 years. So that also bring the major concern, because you can use that laptop for personal use, for all personal use, and also you're going to use it for company also. So the company policies will be updated in your system, and also you don't have the proper security, like controlled environment to work on it. Say, let me give an example actually. The normal IT people right now working in a software company. Inside the software company, the operating system will be optimized for their workforce actually. If you work from home, you don't have that much feature and functionality. But if they're giving that much feature and functionality from work from home itself, that means the policy has been reduced to some point, so you can use all the features exactly in the company itself, how they're in the company system itself. So you don't have the full proper protection, so that will significantly increase the cyber attacks in the recent after the COVID-19. And one more thing I should ask is one more thing I want to tell is, in India, we don't have an exact cyber policies, actually, exactly cyber policy to protect against anything. Actually, the recent policies has been in 2019. They launched launched by the government. It's mainly focused about cyber resilience systems. We can call it as a cyber resilience. It should it should different from the attack, and also it should recover from the attack. So that's called a cyber resilience system. That these policies doesn't cover the how to do things. It also the we can say it. We don't have proper standards for do everything. Actually, we should. But right now we are developing. I'm not saying it. We don't have anything, but we are developing. There is a lot of NDS and DCSI. There are a lot of cyber institutions as government institution has been progressing, like CSIR, the Center for Information and Security, Center for Infrastructure Security has been coming on. And recently the Modi government has been issued, and the new policies they're going to planning to issue are cyber infrastructure security concerns about how in the Make in India plan, they want to combine both the private industry and the public government industry to come with the cybersecurity to protect the entire common government. So, and another thing is we don't in India we are second to none in everything, actually. Like in IT industry, in everything, India is the fastest growing economy and the fastest growing technology industries in everywhere. So we need to put a lot of effort in cybersecurity also, because we don't have like a cyber monitoring, large scale infrastructure monitoring and threat assessment and threat response team. We have recently the government has been issued CERTN, the Computer Emergency Response Team in India. Recently they started it. It's called the Black Swan. So after the COVID pandemic, the small team has been assembled in India. So how the financial sector need to be, they are practicing it. They started practicing it, actually, literally. So in the future, we can actually defend against a lot of cyber attacks. Actually, they're practicing the methodology called Black Swan Cyber Strategy Plan. So they're actually practicing the finance, how the attacks, they're simulating their own attack using COVID-19, and then try to practicing how to defend against it. There is a two different team actually right now in India. It's called CERT-IN and CERT-FIN. CERT-IN they use for major concern in public sectors like spam, general hacking, and how to their main concern how to create awareness and how to create the policies and how to create the standards inside the companies itself. And also the CERT-FIN, they mostly focus on financial sector. So if the company is attacked by cybersecurity, the cyber attacks and cyber data breaches will happen, how the financial will be affected in India. And it's not only they're developing for companies, they also for individual. If there's someone attacked from the even for the normal IT people, they don't know how, if they got attacked, how to report it to the authorities, certain authorities. So they are they're morely focusing on how to handle those requests and how to process the request. Actually, right now, the India is mainly focusing on, after 2020, the new policies has been set forth for this, actually. And actually, in India, there is a many group of individuals are there, like a normal group of individuals trying to put the own security awareness and security standards for the security standards. But what I'm saying is these people are come together to form a single community, like cybersecurity community, single one entire unity. They need a unity about it. So these people decides what standards they need to give. Like if you're creating a disaster recovery plan or cyber attacks, how we share the information, how the recovery plan concerned, what are the security features need to be included, what are the basic standards for the normal company to have a cyber security features, how the policies, how your customer personal information need to be protected. These standards need to be set, but by these communities. But these the entire, but another problem in India we are facing is a lack of awareness, even in the company itself. So the company focusing on more on productive, but they are not focusing on more on security. See, cyber security as well as is equivalent to the equivalent importance to the products actually. And also some companies doesn't able to they know what to do about it. So there is another awareness as creating by the government in India. They call how to set up your own cybersecurity plans for your company. What things need to be done? What are the drills need to be performed? What are the policies need to you have for the small scale startups and industries? Even the large scale industry, while they're doing a normal drills, they are not exactly following the drills actually. Even while I'm working I actually went in the internship in Pune. I don't want to say the name about it. They have policies, but it's not written properly itself. There doesn't have a standards how the policies need to be done, how the policy need to be done, and how it need to be practiced every day. Even you buy the millions of dollars systems if you have a very big companies, you have a millions and dollars of cybersecurity system. The problem, the enforcing the system, enforcing the people to use the system properly is very hard from now these days in even the developing countries, and even top class companies like Deloitte or Airbus, or even you go to the Tatas. What I'm saying is so the India need to be put in the fast track in cybersecurity. So to evade this, not evade completely, there is no completely evade, but defend against these cyber attacks. These cyber attacks, most of the cyber attacks in the COVID-19 periods are not in the like massive cyber data breach. The massive data breach is there, but it's not in the in between period of the COVID-19, but it's a lot of spam messages, emailing, phishing, trying to scam other people using like I'm selling this product, and then if you go pay this much amount of money, and then I will sell this, like spam calls. These the people doesn't aware how to utilize their utilize the existing system. There is a lot of existing how to system to report these activities actually. So these kind of attacks is happening due to the awareness only. There is awareness only. So the Indian government recently started about this called NDS, National Defense Cyber Programs. A lot of things about who are running the companies or who are running enterprises. So they can join together to form a normal standards and proper guidelines for the future generation to follow them. So what and another point of view, we don't want to create something from new everything. We each and every standards are actually exist in every other country. Like we just follow it, or actually try to rewrite the existing standard for to our convenience. Like we can follow NSIT, or we can follow Her Majesty's National Cybersecurity. We can follow those standards. We can write our own standards using that. So India is second to none for everything actually in IT industry to mass productions, and even including to scientific advancements. So we need to every IT people need to put force in the Cybersecurity Act to improve our cyber culture actually in India. It's a right now it's a very I'm not saying it's a very dangerous position right now. We are actually due to the small pandemic, they use the pandemic to target the people, like we call it as a target based attack or target based phishing. So even we can't able to defend against a small phishing like this, then we can't able to face the major large scale cyber attacks in India. Yeah, in future.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Tolton, for the elaborate answer. And next, moving on to the nuclear industry, actually, my question is towards Mr. Ankit. So, recently we have seen this Fukushima reactor leak, and we know that actually there is a lot of bottleneck in deploying the MI models. I'm not sure, maybe it is not there, but what we have known is there is a lot of bottleneck in employing the MI models in the nuclear field. And how do you think this developing this neural network will actually help us combat this catastrophic situation like Fukushima nuclear reactor leak? Like, since you're from this field, can you actually present your challenges there, and in the future what it holds there?
So while building a nuclear reactor, all the safety norms which are built are based on not having any human-made disaster in general. And a lot of things which are happening due to natural disasters are kind of ignored. Even though they are trying to make it as secure as possible, there is always a possibility of having disastrous effect like we saw in Fukushima. And the main reason in Fukushima for the disaster was actually a tsunami. So instead of trying to secure the nuclear reactor, what the current people are doing at the moment is they're trying to predict tsunamis, so that not just nuclear reactors, they'll be also able to help a lot more people who are living in the area in the nearby vicinity, and they'll be able to do the shutdowns and things, precautionary things in time if they're aware of when the tsunami is going to happen. So what they're working on is they are working on with a lot of satellite imagery, a lot of seismic data, and things like that. Where since tsunamis are basically earthquakes happening under the sea, they're trying to make sure that they understand these things better, and they're using a lot of ML predictive models as well, and they're trying to build forecasting models as well to understand what causes the earthquakes, how we can predict the earthquakes, how we can predict the tsunamis. Especially the satellite imagery is being used to understand the wave patterns and to understand how the waves were before the tsunami and how long it took for the waves to reach the disaster site and things like that. So there, the main ML part is being used, because the other part where we come to modeling of the nuclear reactor, not much can be done in terms of the civil engineering part. So that's why where we can use the technologies, trying to avoid these things, trying to be take all the precautions in time, trying to be aware of the tsunami. So predicting when a tsunami is going to happen is a big challenge, and a lot of scientists are working on this thing. Currently, we are not working, but a lot of scientists abroad are working on understanding how to predict when a tsunami would happen, since it will not only save us from a nuclear catastrophe, but also a lot of people's life would be saved. And that's what I think about the catastrophe from Fukushima, actually. Also, adding to Muthu before, he was talking about a lot of cyber attacks and data breaches. So one of the most common places from where a data breach can happen is a customer care, right? So
Exactly.
a lot of customer care for countries like USA and UK are working in India. So I have a friend who builds BPOs and provides security to BP. BPOs are basically which run customer care. So in countries like United States or UK and various European countries, people actually give their credit card details on calls to these customer cares as well. So earlier, when the customer care employees used to sit in enclosed offices, they made sure that they did not have any notepad. They made sure that they do not have any hearing devices, no mobile, nothing. So they could not note down the credit card details of the customers in any form. But due to COVID-19, since even the customer care started working from home, it was very difficult to understand if they are noting down some customers' credit card details, or if they are trying to steal data of customers, because at home the security is not provided, right? So my very good friend is working in this field, and what they developed is they developed a model using machine learning and NLP, actually, where as soon as the customer care service agent says, sir, please enter your let me know your credit card details, and the customer starts speaking the digits, like the 16 digit of your credit card or your debit card, what happens is the customer care agent is not able to hear that. So as soon as he says credit card details, the algorithm understands that now we are going to get a 16-digit PIN. So the customer service agent will not be able to hear that, but that 16 digits would be entered in a mask format like asterisks. And the service agent would be able to see that 16 digits have been entered. And this is all on voice, right? These are on voice call. So without even listening to the credit card detail, the credit card detail is being inputted. And this is how like AI is being used for NLP, like where the language is being processed. The credit card term is like a keyword which is being used to understand that next thing would be 16 digits. They are also verifying it where the customer service agent just has to click on a speaker button, and only the other side where the customer is, he is able to hear his own credit card detail and say confirm, yes, right or wrong. And so this is a way where they're able to do a lot of, avoid a lot of data breach, because now the customer service agent actually doesn't know the credit card detail at all. And this will be used in future, even when they go back to the offices. And I really think that this is going to have a great impact. And this is a very small example in this industry. And there are a lot more examples I think Muthu would be able to.
Yeah. What you're saying is exactly right. But the thing is, the technology you're saying, the main concern I'm saying is the awareness. The problem is the people doesn't know the systems exist. Right. Even for the customer care people, they have all the features, the existing features. They have the people with the AI people or cybersecurity people, they created a lot of tools for using it. But they are not, even they've trained it. They think let me give a small example. We are working in the company. I'm working in the laboratory in the DMU. We have a separate mailing features, like we have separate Outlook to mail it. But the problem is we need to log into the system, the company system, and then we need to log into their company portal, and then you log into your email address, and then you can, there's a certain procedure to send the mail. Actually the people, even including the normal people, what they will do is they simply use the normal Gmail and send the confidential information. They simply do that. That's what I'm saying is the simple mistake can lead into this cyber attacks. Actually,
the SOPs are not followed really well in our country.
Yeah, I'm seeing that actually. I even experienced it. What you're saying is the using the machine learning and then AI technology to receive the credit card information and the debit card information is actually I experienced it, and in the recent customer care talk with people. That's really good. And another why I'm saying concerned about India is everything is becoming booming in India. Actually, in the technology wise, everything is going in a vast scale. Everything is in every year around in the technology, even in the latest technology, blockchain. India is coming to second to none. Our hyperledger fabrics is actually developing in India. The public scale blockchain also. The recently government announced to develop public blockchain networks, but we are still concerned about the standardizing and the policy and the guidelines. These three things need to be set. Like we need to create a common community, like national cybersecurity standards so create the certain standard books like ISO, a lot of standards are there, ISI standards like that. We need to create standards. So for you are buying the software, what are the things need to be there for the people? You need to set the standard. So for creating the small software, what are the policies need to be set for the people? The people going to receive it, what are the things they have? What are the permissions they need to have? What are the security features need to be included in that? So these things need to be returned and documented properly, and the people common people can understand that. That's the main thing I'm saying is actually.
Yeah. Thank you, Ankit, and thank you, Muthu Pavitran. Actually, I have one more important question for Anand Poniswamy sir. So now, actually, like in AI, we are actually like also trying to go with the emotional intelligence. And actually, how do you think this field is progressing? And we see actually like every now and then, actually like Microsoft is also letting out a lot of products. And can you actually also speak about those things so that it will be beneficial for our students? Sir, your mic is not on.
Thank you, sir. Absolutely, emotional intelligence is one of the key factor that drives the customer interactions and also the customer experience with the organization. Uh, for example, I'll give you an example of how AI is used effectively in retaining the customer or making a dissatisfied customer happy. Typically, right, when you're not happy, you will either call up the call center or send out an email. Based on the voice patterns or modulations, or based on the content of the email, the AI algorithms predict the sentiment of the customers. Now, if the customer is satisfied, the AI algorithms automatically take an appropriate action, whereby requesting the customer to post the positive feedback on a social media, thereby increasing the brand value of the organization. And to do this, right, organizations that come up with innovative ways to incentivize the customers for sharing their stories on the social media by giving them certain reward points or giving them certain discount vouchers and so on. Now, in case based on the interactions through the email or the voice modulations, the algorithm predicts that the customer is not satisfied. Now, for example, I've given my one of the product which I procured for service. Say, for example, it can be a television, it can be a mobile, it can be, say, for example, your own car also, or a two-wheeler. Now, based on the content of the email or the voice modulations or the discussions, it has been very evident that I'm not happy with the service offered. Now, there are multiple ways in making me happy. One such way is like providing a discount coupon for uh, that I can redeem during the future service, or I can use the same voucher codes to procure a new product from the same brand and so on. Thereby, right, uh, and also rectifying whatever complaints that I've registered, rather than asking me to go to another, say, from one agent to another agent to another agent. Now, these AI algorithms helps in predicting the emotional intelligence, or what is the sentiment of the person interacting with the customer service agent or with the sales team, thereby helping them to retain the customer or helps them to do a cross sell or an upsell actually. These are and this has been widely used in most of the customer service scenarios, especially in banking industry or in retail industry, very effectively.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you. So actually, we are little running out of time, but still, I would like to actually ask my final question. Like it'll be a common question for all of the expert speakers. So, what will be your words for our aspiring students who are willing to make an impact in this field of AI? So maybe I'll start with Anand Ponuswamy sir itself again.
Okay, so AI is actually speaking, right, it's a double-edged sword. Using AI in an ethical manner and in a constructive way will help organizations, will help the individuals uh, to improve their business, increase the customer satisfaction or retention, overall revenue increase for the organizations, or even providing personalized services for the customers. Now, any business is none without their customers. When AI is used properly with appropriate security mechanisms or uh, solutions in place, it can do wonders.
Okay, Dinesh Kumar.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So regarding AI, and since people are now learning AI, guys, one thing I can tell: excited times are well ahead. So you guys are in a right path. One thing, like to be frank, we hadn't gone through these kind of subjects and departments, curriculums, etc. So we were like we studied, we completed our degrees a decade back. Nowadays you guys have specializations to learn and uh, shape your career in that. So we were like learning computer science in general, we were learning IT in general, and we were learning each and every department in general. But you have specializations, we have more opportunities. As Anand sir said, if you use AI in more ethical way, in a secured way, you can make wonders. You can uh, retain your customers. That is how we retained our customers for half the decade. That is how it is. So almost 4 to 5 customers, 4 to 5 products we developed, we retained customers with the help of AI, with the ethical use of AI. So that is how we created. So I'm fingers crossed to see how AI is in this decade. I'm sure you guys will make wonders with your career.
Thank you. And Mr. Muthupavitran,
Yeah, actually, uh, Anand Ponusamy sir told about the AI actually used as a double-edged sword. Exactly. Actually, in my research group, there is a two type of team has been researching. One AI using for protection mechanism, and AI using for uh, how to hack the system. Actually, uh, there is a there's a little thing. I'm just give example on both the things. AI in a network security field, AI can be used as a behavior detection actually. So if you the AI firewall can monitor the people continuously, like continuously, and then they will predict your how you do, what you do, and I can't explain it in AI because I'm not an AI person. So predict what you do, and activities they will monitor and be recorded, and then they will use it as your reference. Actually, someone trying to attack the system, like trying to log into your system, if doesn't match that pattern, actually they block it, or they will mark it as some anonymous, or uh, as a blacklist. Actually, blacklist, or they will give a actually a uh, alert to the admin. Another thing is this is actually a for good use. There is a company called FireEye. They are trying to make use of deep neural network to use of efficient use of firewall, IDS and IPS and honeypot, a lot of things. And there is another company trying to create a hacking tool literally for hack the system using AI. Let me give an example of it. That is let's take a simple one. Everyone know about the Kali Linux, and they have a lot of hacking tools, open source tools are there. These tools literally can damage any system if you properly used. Actually, the Kali Linux have a more than 3,000 of tools, open source tools. Open source, I'm not asking the paid tools, they're open source tools, but the certain condition met properly, how they are using it, they literally damage any companies. So if that system, that tools gain the AI power, AI is a staggering amount of power. I've literally seen them. So staggering power. So the staggering amount of power it can do, the magic can do. Actually, that AI is kind of magic for me. So it can do a lot of machine learning and the deep neural network. I've not exactly learned the AI, so but I have a subject in AI and security, so that's what I'm saying. It's a magic for us. To if I use to let me give a small thing. If I use the normal IP scanner to scan the thousands of systems, if I use combine with AI, it can do port scanning, all the scanning, what are the things need to be done for the basic kind of attack. It will do everything for me and then give the exact system number and what port need to attack. Let me give it. It will make it my work simple as possible for the hacker. Yeah, it is a double-edged sword, and AI is a staggering amount of power in this world, in this generation actually. So the way of using the AI is really concerned. But on the cybersecurity and AI, both the thing are the fire in the technology field right now. So if you combine these two things, it can make a disaster, and so it's also make things more secure. Actually, it works on both ways. Yeah.
Well said, sir. Just to add to what Muthupavitran sir said, uh, AI helps you to predict the user's behavior patterns. Actually, this is how most of the banks fraud management systems are built. Actually, they look at your spend patterns on your debit cards or credit cards, and when they see that there is abnormal pattern. Say for example, you usually withdraw say thousands or 2000s from the ATMs, but all of a sudden they are seeing that you are withdrawing 50,000. Now this will trigger the alerts to the admins or the fraud investigation team, and they would immediately reach out to the customer to check or confirm uh, whether it is the right customer doing the transactions. Otherwise, they'll immediately block the cards. So that this is how the modern banks like ICC or HDFC is working towards or leveraging AI technologies to predict the user's behavior and prevent frauds actually.
Yeah, exactly, sir. And one more thing I need to add. We have some study. It's called robotic hands system. I don't know what kind of AI it's used. So we're just trying to attack the system by it's PLCs. It's like a PLC using the proper way. Actually, there is another AI cybersecurity guy with us. So I am actually network, so I can only focus on the thing. That guy trained the system to choose actually wrong thing. But the thing it can do good thing, actually it can actually literally choosing the wrong thing in the table actually every time, but the system shows it choosing the right thing. So what I'm saying is AI can, it doesn't have a thinking like us, but what I learned is, but you can manipulate the how you train the data to them to choose the wrong thing or right thing for literally. But I'm sorry, maybe I'm saying something wrong, but this is the thing I learned in the while we are testing the robotic arm of cybersecurity recently. Actually, I just want to add
one point to add on top of it. There is a myth over the industry, like whether introduction to AI will replace the human jobs. So there is a biggest myth in the industry about it. So the fact is, it won't replace human jobs. AI, robots, or anything, it is human programmed. It is learning on its own. It has certain boundaries to learn and think, and also come into a decision or something. So human mind are apart from that. So I have an answer, I have an explanation on top of it. You can think of, that means you have more more areas to explore, more areas to introduce AI into the application, so into the market. So that is the point I just want to make it.
Okay. I would like to also ask Ankit Bhatt to give your views.
So since most of the people over here are students, so I have trained a lot of working professionals and students in general. And after my trainings, I saw what they do with the knowledge. They try to gain more knowledge. They try to gain more knowledge, and they keep learning and learning and learning. What they lack is the application of the knowledge. Because most of the students don't know that if they want to accelerate their growth of learning, all they need to do is an end-to-end project in general. Like that would be one of the tips which I would like to give to all the students who are trying to get into this field, that keep learning, that's great, but try to build the most basic application end to end. By end to end, I don't mean just getting an accuracy or getting something. Try to deploy your models. Okay, most of the AI algorithms are in the industry which are being developed never get deployed. Okay, because they are never getting tested on the real world. So if you deploy a model, you can understand that how your model is actually working. Will it actually work in the real world? And now there are various ways of deploying your model, which are very easily available. For example, Microsoft Azure is there, AWS is there. Azure ML is doing a great work where you can actually deploy your model free of cost. So students who are just learning things like and getting into this field, try to build something end to end. Try to build like a face recognition or something, but end to end like a app. By using Azure ML or things like that, you can actually develop a app which you can actually use on your mobile phone without even writing single line of code, or you just simply using your algorithms which you have written, pull the code from your GitHub, and things are very easy to learn. And if you start learning how to deploy them, you will accelerate your growth curve like anything. And the industry is very good. They are having lots of job opportunities at the moment, and things are moving really fast. Even people who are not from a background like coding background, like a lot of people on this panel are also not from the computer science background, but still we got into this field. And uh, even now a no-code approach is coming up, like Azure ML without requirement of coding, just drag and drop, or your previous ML algorithm code which you have, you can directly pull it in and deploy something, create an Android app and actually use it. Things are very good for learning at the moment as well. And the application of AI, as everyone discussed, is immense. So that would be really great for all the students. So that's my tip to the students. If you want to accelerate your growth, do lots of projects. And by lots of projects, I mean, do 4 to 5 good projects. Try to do end to end. Try to understand the algorithms well. Try to understand the maths well. Do not skip your maths. So most of the people who are in the learning phase usually skip their maths. Do focus on that, and that would be my tip for everyone. Thank you.
I really thank the speakers for sharing their experience and sharing their views with us. And also I thank the VIT Bhopal management for giving this opportunities to organize this conclave. And I would like to now call Dr. Soundararajan to actually speak a few words from the perspective of the program chair of AI and ML.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, actually, I listened completely all the question and answers for all the experts from the industry. All the perspective in industry, automation and software creation and product and everything they implemented in AI way. They are clearly said everything for so how the AI will be evolved for each and every product they are released nowadays in India or abroad. So the companies are actually investing lots of money for that. They are getting for the analysis of the human, then how the intelligence will be meet out for the human and machine both. So these things will be very clearly elaborated by the expert members. As well as in my concern, we are in VIT Bhopal. Actually, we are having multiple specialization branches and together to bring out for the industry professionals for the future ready. So that is what actually we are focusing on to design a curriculum for the students in a narrow down of curriculum of cybersecurity, and also Muthu Bhavitharan stated that a lot of security experts in AI also. And then we are in AI experts. We have a more on mathematical way to analysis of data, as well as the students will be knowing about the programming languages, how to do in programming and artificial intelligent algorithms. So these things we properly vetting in our curriculum. So this is what actually now the India is required. So now everywhere is started artificial intelligence, machine learning is a BTech course, and every institute is started for the diploma course and online platform for given a lot of materials for artificial intelligence, as well as then we can now everybody is not in the first year and 12th standard 11th standard, they study a lot of courses in online also for AI way. So the fundamentals is most important to understand about any language and all. So nowadays people will think for the future ready. So that is why actually in 1954 technology evolved in nowadays for the everybody is driving the force of demand of AI is booming of for next upcoming years. So this thing actually I wanted to note it out for all the participants. So you have to think and do intelligence like do a programming like a human. It's most important now. The software also, the robotic agent also, whatever may be the uh, agent. So this is what actually in my perspective.
I was really actually like very happy to be in this conclave, and I was also very excited listening to our expert speakers. And now I would like to give the stage to Om Krishna and Yukti Singh for the conclusion.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. What a great session it was. Hosting dignitaries as the panel members, how can the discussion not be fruitful? Truly, it was a honor for each one of us in today's meeting. A massive thank you to all the panel speakers who provided attendees with their specific insights. We appreciate the time you took to enlighten all of us. Thank you, sir.
True words. We certainly look forward to more discussion like this tomorrow. On that note, I would like to thank our management and faculty coordinator of VIT Bhopal University to give us an opportunity to host this event in such a time. Our faculty is always there by our side and have our backs.
Also, this event wouldn't have been possible without the assistance of our coordinators and our volunteers who helped us execute the vision of AI Conclave 2021.
Today we discussed convergence of AI, sustainable Internet of Things, Astenga AI, and AI stack for complex ecosystem, and is AI real perspective on weak and strong AI. And after that, a massive conclave session by our conclave members, conclave speakers, and our most beloved faculty, Dr. Soundarajan sir and Dr. Suguneshwar sir, to be here.
Yes, this was about today, and for tomorrow we'll have more of such compelling topics such as visual attention model, exploring the field of computer vision, building the future by the people for the people, health data analytics, making sense of complex data, and another panel discussion with extraordinary speakers for tomorrow. We would be happy to see all of you tomorrow. Stay tuned, everyone. With this, I conclude today's session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you everyone.
Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.